Turn this so we can see it ourselves.
Greetings. I am Brother Sylvester Muhammad, and this is my wife.
Sister Sandra Muhammad.
And today we will be going further into the timeline of the original man. We want to welcome you from coming out to the timeline of the original man according to the Criterion. Now, if you notice, we got this picture that you might have seen on Facebook of the diamond. This is going to be very key in dealing with the 50,000 year timeline of the original man. Now, we've come from 7 to 8 trillion years. God's self-creation and the creation of his second self, the woman. If you're a brother and you ain't got your MGT, or you're a man and you ain't got a wife, you are half the man you should be. Another story for another time. The sun, the 72 trillion years of the stars, the 66 trillion years of the deportation of the moon, and now we at the original man, know thyself. 50,000 years, the tribe of Shabazz. The tribe of Shabazz is the tribe that came with the earth. If you wanted to know who you were, well, you are, as an original man, a member of the tribe of Shabazz. Now, let me get this right. Is it right, baby? Okay, I got to emphasize the whole concept of history. Truths mixed with falsehood.
That's right. This
is what you got in the Caucasian educational system. Truth, our story, just all truth. In fact, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he established the schools in the Nation of Islam, they were called universities of Islam. We didn't teach elementary and then go to high school, and then after that you go to middle school, high school, and then after that you go to a university. No. We started the babies out right here with all truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and it was called the universities of Islam. That is what this timeline is all about. It's teaching you of the universality of the teaching of Honorable Elijah Muhammad that was given to him by that one that came to him named Master Muhammad. Coming in sin for flesh, Allah, coming in sin for flesh to condemn sins in the flesh. Now, let's move on. Now, at this point,
you might want to mention, they may cut us off.
Oh, yes, please. For whatever reason, our live broadcasts have been blanking out after maybe 16 minutes. But if you want to see the complete discussion on the timeline of the original man, just go to our YouTube channel, which is Sylvester Muhammad YouTube channel, and you can see the complete if it blanks out this time. But we're going to move forward now. Now, my wife is going to be presenting a reading from the Criterion that was done
July 4th, 2020. This is from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm going to read a small excerpt from it. It says, do you know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Master Fard Muhammad taught him that once every 50,000 years, 2 stars appear in the southeastern sky, a blue and a red star. That blue and that red star are now present. It signals the coming of a universal change. This world that we have lived in, are living in, and soon will live in no more, has to go, and a divine change on its way in. When you're martyred to sin and the old world out, your life is lost to bring in a universal change of worlds.
So don't be surprised at the death that's taking place on our planet and even our community. We have reached a 100% dissatisfaction with doing wrong, and so now God is going to bring in a new universal change. The last time they appeared, these 2 stars, was 50,000 years ago during the tribe of Shabazz, when they went down into the jungles of Africa. And we're going to get into it. Now here we are 50,000 years later, and another universal change is coming in. And this is why he made that announcement during the Criterion of those stars being present. Okay, now we're going to continue to read.
Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, also the minister says, the dissatisfaction on our earth today is 100%. Everywhere you walk, everywhere you look, the people are dissatisfied. When you have 100% dissatisfaction, then there must be 100% change. There's a burden that the earth is carrying that the earth must be relieved of. What is that burden? Everything that is on the earth came out from the earth. So the earth is not burdened by what comes out from it. The earth is burdened by the wicked living on the planet that was made for the righteous. The burden is now being shaken. The burden feels something coming because they're being overthrown. You can't live in a world made by God on the basis of truth, living your life on the basis of a lie.
You can't live in a world that was made by God on the basis of truth. Living your life on the basis of a liar. We made that liar 8,400 years ago. Mr. Yaqub made that liar. And so while he was doing what he had to do for the next 6 days or 6,000 years, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we just what? We just fold our arms and let you do what you do, because you're just a millisecond in our time. But we had to get you out, so we let you out to do what you had to do. Now we are coming back into our own. So original man, you must now know the truth. You must now know yourself. I know many of us think that if we're Christians, even some Muslims and Hebrews, you think you know God. But if you don't know Allah, God, who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad and raised the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, which we finna read from that great book, Message to the Black Man, then you may not know God at all. Thanks to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, we are coming back into that knowledge. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is Message to the Black Man, page 82. It's entitled, Make All Things New.
Behold, he makes all things new.
That's right.
Yes.
Behold, I, Allah, make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. Bible, Revelation 21:5. It is necessary for me to consult or refer to the Bible for this subject. It can be found in the Holy Quran, but not in the exact words as are found in the Bible. So because of the truth of it, and because my people do not know any scripture or ever read any scripture other than the Bible, which they do not understand, I thought it best to make them understand the book which they read and believe in, since the Bible is their graveyard and they must be awakened from it.
The Bible is their graveyard and they must be awakened from it. What do you mean the Bible is their graveyard? Well, the Bible that we read, most of us, is the King James Version. Now, what right did Mr. King James have to put the Bible in his version? There's a lot I could say about it, but I'm going to end it with this. He says Holy Bible. But holy is something that has not been diluted, mixed, or tampered with in any shape or form. It was all right to translate it. But when you put in your version, that means you're trying to hide something. And that's why God had to come to reveal in that book, which is our cemetery, where it talks about us from Genesis. Let us make man. Who is the us? In the hour is going to make a man in their image. The Quran follows up. What is the connection? Allah is the best knower. Then it says we. Well, what is the connection between the we in the Holy Quran and the us in the Bible? Right. See? So we must, Don Elijah Muhammad came for the distinct purpose of making the truths that are in the Bible, which is our graveyard, known to our people, that we might not be snared by the falsehoods thereof.
That's right. Coming of Master Father Muhammad.
The coming of Allah in the person of Master Father Muhammad. Read on.
Okay, it says, there are many Muslims who do not care to read anything in the Bible, but those Muslims have not been given my job. Therefore, I ignore what they say and write. By all means, we must get the truth. to our people, the so-called Negroes. For the time is limited. The coming of a new world or a new order of things is very hard for the people of the old world to believe.
Right.
Therefore, they are opposed to the new world.
They are opposed to the new world. They don't want you to understand these truths. Don't even want Elijah Muhammad to get to you. And we say we're a Muslim, but a Muslim is just one who submits his will to do the will of God. Well, if you're a Christian, what is that? What is a Hebrew except one who has a personal covenant relationship with God? So we're not talking about three different gods. We're talking about the same God under three different languages. Now, we're gonna try to paint a picture of our sacredness with God, how valuable we are in the eyesight of God, as Minister Farrakhan, if we get to that part today, talks about the infinity material. But the best example in our research that we could find about the infinity material is the diamond itself. All right? Now the diamond is made of the same essence as you and I. The human being is called the carbon unit. Okay? Carbon is all matter that once had life in it, but in its decay, it became carbon. Now my wife is going to describe how diamonds are made.
Okay, it says, how are diamonds naturally made?
Naturally made.
Simply put, diamond formation occurs when carbon deposits deep within the earth, approximately 90 to 125 miles below the surface, are subject to high temperature and pressure.
Ooh, diamonds are made 110 to 95,
90 to 125.
90 to 125 miles, not feet, miles. A description of that would be like going from Atlanta to Macon, Georgia. That's a good example. That's a long ways but it's under the earth, and it takes heat and pressure to break down the atoms in the carbon and bond them, and then eventually crystallize them into oneness, that they become the most precious substance and the hardest substance known to man. And you can't even cut a diamond unless you have another diamond to cut it with. Read on, baby.
Amongst men and women.
Diamond from amongst men and women. That's who, please, the FOI and the MGT, those of us who are with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Minister Farrakhan, will be coming if we stay the course.
Stay the course.
And that's why he told us in the Criterion, the race is not unto the strong or the swift, but it is to he or she who can endure to the end. Come on, baby.
Right. Okay, it says, what does a diamond go through to become a diamond? Diamonds are created when high temperatures and high amounts of pressure cause carbon atoms to bond.
Yes. Diamond is made under high temperature, 95 miles down in the earth, high pressure. You know, they cause the molecules of the atoms to bond. Come on. And that takes eons again. See, we're talking eons. We're talking 7 to 8 trillion years here now for the man to be made. Now God is going to make a man. And the best example I could find of that man, that type of man he's going to make, is the diamond.
Yes. Okay, it says, what is carbon's role in forming diamonds? Diamonds are made of carbon, so they form as carbon atoms under a high temperature and pressure. They bond together to start growing crystals.
They form together to start growing crystals. They bond together. The atom is forced together under extreme heat and pressure under the depths of the earth. See? But diamonds, you know what it is about diamonds? Diamonds are not made, they are created. Of course the Caucasian wants to come up with some, what do you call it?
Cuban zirconiums.
Cuban zirconiums, you know, because he don't have the type of pressure that it takes to make a diamond.
And time.
And time. See, he tried to think, well, I can do the pressure. Yeah, but you can't do the time. See? Only God can make a diamond like he's doing with the tribe of Shabazz by sending us down into the jungles of Africa. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what made us the diamond. We're that diamond because he did send us through that process.
He sent us through that process. Sent us down into the jungles of Africa. See, 50,000 years ago, East Asia, as you now call it, Africa. And then after being prepped down there, see, because, you know, then we were taking on a westerly course. Can you imagine how many people in the holds of those ships? It mentioned tightly packed. Listen to that word, tightly packed. The atoms must be tightly packed. How were we in the holds of those ships? Were we not tightly packed?
That's right.
Ain't no, I mean, you sitting up in an air condition today.
That's right.
But you can't imagine, I can't imagine, but that's what that diamond was doing with the Son of Man was doing with the tribe of Shabazz.
Right.
It had us tightly packed. Some of us jumped overboard because we could not endure the journey. Some of us revolted and were killed and then thrown overboard. Yeah. Some of us died right there in the tight pack of the holds of those ships. You see the diamond, man? If you don't see it, then you won't be. Come on. But after we got to the Caribbeans, then some of the sick and the weak ones, they kept there. But the rest of us would travel for that final stage of becoming.
Yes.
Or that final stage of pressure and fire. Going through that 400 years under the white man's pressure, fire, that would make a people that the minister in the reading later will call infinity material. And that's why I'm talking about the diamond, because when you hear what he says in closing the gap, you have to recognize that this man must be from God. And let me say it again. This is the latest revelation from God himself coming through Brother Minister Farrakhan, who received his revelation from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his more than a vision-like experience on the wheel.
That's right.
So what you're getting is the latest, and it's about you, black man and woman, and then we'll share it with the rest of humanity. But first of all, we must get that diamond. That diamond. Look at how the description they call the words that are synonymous with diamonds. It's called brilliant. I mean, look at it. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Right. Brilliant. It's called lustrous. Right. I mean, it's just beautiful. But it started with a piece of coal, or it started with carbon. It started with black coal. It's been said that a diamond is nothing but a piece of coal that knows how to handle pressure perfectly. Okay? Right. Talking about the black man and woman of America first.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, you know, as I, you know, read and as I listen to what my husband is saying, you know, it's really, you know, painful because our people really do not want to look at our story, you know. And in this society now, this civilization, they only have given us a small amount of history, which is his story about us. They've given us a small amount of that, but now they're even trying to take that back away from us, take it out of the school system. They don't want their children to know what they did to us.
What they did to us.
They don't want them to see how wicked their own forefathers were.
That's right. Good point, baby. Good point.
Now, truth is coming out about them, and their children are listening, and they, you know, kind of sweethearting with us, so they want to listen more at what it is we're saying. But we as a people really do not want to hear about that pain. It's very painful when you're reading it and you're discussing it. It's very painful to hear what our people went through.
Yes.
Especially dealing with Shabazz, going down to the jungle. He prepared us for what we were going to go through over here.
Yes.
And we made it. We are that infinity material because we made it through that pressure, just as a diamond. And that's why my husband is saying diamond, because what the diamond goes through is what we have gone through as a people.
As a people.
You know, we got to look in the mirror and we got to study his story, and we've definitely got to study our story, because part of our story is in his story, because that hurt and that pain that they put us through.
Yes.
We have to deal with that. We don't want to look at the fact. We want to say, oh, that was then.
That was then.
No, that's not then.
We are products.
We're a product of that.
Of
you
then.
know, and that's why we are in the condition that we're in. We're looking at our people being shot down on the street by each other,
Right.
as well as by them. We see all this going on. We're killing our own babies and things of that nature. And because we're doing these things, it's embarrassing to our people.
Yes.
But no, don't be embarrassed, because really something was
Internalize
done to you
Yeah.
to make you that way. And we have to come out of that thinking. We have to come out of that way. And that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the message of the black man, he said, original man, know thyself. We have to know ourselves so we can move forward into God. The new world is coming, and it's going to be us that's going to establish that. It's going to be us. Whether you want it or not, that's what it's going to be. So get ready for the new world.
Get ready for the new world. Now, Juneteenth, I gotta say something about that. Juneteenth, I read a book entitled From Slavery to Freedom. It said that freedom lasted for one day. Because you woke up the next morning and found out you was out of doors and had no place to stay, and you had to go back to the same man that so-called freed you and ask him for a job, and what he did was put you back on the plantation as a slave by another name called sharecropping. And we've been on his plantation ever since. How many of us go to school, get education, and go back and look and ask him for a job? There is no profession that you could do that if you did not think over that education that you have, you'll be able to do something for yourself and your people. The entertainers are nothing but tarts. They are carrots at the end of a stick to guide you the way they want to guide you, using them. But that's another story for another time.
And that's why we have to be careful. Don't be so fast to want to be seen and recognized. You know, in this world, because recognition in this world, we have to be careful. That may not be what God wants for the new world.
That's right. Now we're going to quickly go into, because the timeline, that 30-minute timeline is upon us. But we got to go into the Bible. See, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that's the resurrection. That's where we lie dead at. And we're going to start with the book of Malachi, and hopefully we're going to get into old Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar. Okay, hopefully we'll get into Shadrach, Meshach, and that bad Negro, or the Abednego. Come on, baby, read.
Malachi chapter 3. It says, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire. And like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.
I mean, like a refiner's fire, like full of soap. You hear? That's the Bible, the book that we say we believe in as Christians and Muslims. Okay, talking about what God is going to use to purify his people. And the book of Malachi is the last book of the Old Testament, which means my messenger. That's the book that talks about the coming of Elijah. Behold, I send you Elijah before the great and the dreadful day. And he come to turn the hearts of the children back to the father, hearts of the fathers back to the children, lest I smite the earth with a curse. Real quickly, we're going to go into the book of Daniel. Try to get it in before the timeline runs out.
Okay. It says, this is the book of Daniel. What did Nebuchadnezzar see in the furnace? Okay. When the three Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were thrown into a fiery furnace. Because of their faithfulness to God, King Nebuchadnezzar came to witness their execution. But he was stunned to see not 3 but 4 men in the fire. And he recognized that the fourth man in the fire was none other than the Son of God.
Ha! The fourth man. He Nebuchadnezzar threw 4 in the furnace, but when he came to look at them, thank you, baby. He threw 3 in the furnace.
That's right.
But when he came to witness the execution, he found there was a 4th man in there.
That's right. Cool.
3 men.
Yes.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught us the Nation of Islam. Okay, that's the third. That's the second man, and that third one is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Well, who is that 4th one? That 4th one is Allah, who came in the person of the Master, Father Muhammad, that told Honorable Elijah Muhammad, "I be with you always." We've been in this furnace since the slave ships left the coast of Ghana. All right, and we've sailed in that furnace, and we've been brought into the America, and for the last 100 and so years, we've been in that furnace. I mean, look at Rosewood.
Over 400.
Look at over 400 years. Look at Rosewood. Look at
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And many others.
And even after June 10th, these Caucasians, when they started a riot in Tennessee, and they were burning our houses down so we can run out, so they can shoot us down wholesale.
Right.
And they did the same thing in New Orleans. They made a riot, so when we come out, they were raping our women. They were hanging us at the stake. And then to this very day, they don't want you to know the real truth of who you are and who the God has come to retrieve you from them. So,
right.
Really, baby, you want to say anything before we conclude? Because we got about 2 or 3 minutes on this timeline.
Okay, let me read the second part in Daniel. Okay, it says,
If we don't get it out today, we're going back to it next week. Come on with it.
It says, he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. No hurt.
No hurt.
And the form of the 4 is like the Son of God.
The Son of the 4 is like the Son of God, or the Son of Man.
That's right. Allahu Akbar.
The Muslims are looking for the Mahdi. The Christians are looking for the Messiah, or the Son of Man. Well, we're here to tell you, he